walks through the quiet lands where no banners rise, where the wind carries stories nobody ever replies. A crown that's kingdom stretching far beyond his head, built of memories, batters and long forgotten life. He is a trebuchet by moments that never stay, the man born from silence, from shadows tenderly made. And though the world once asked him who he wished to be, he learned that freedom grows where no throne can see. The dust beneath his boots remembers his quiet stride, the steady rhythm of someone with nothing left to hide. For he has walked through doubts, caught deep in the bone, and found the courage hidden in walking on alone. He carries no crown, no emblems to declare, yet power moves softly in the cold he wears. And even the night pauses just to understand how a man without a kingdom still commands the land. His soul is marked by choices weighted with all cost, by roads he took when everything else was lost. But he never let the dark ride who he became. He walked through the ruins and rose without shame. There is a unifier that glows beyond his days, a light that refuses to bow to the passing days. And though his path is wide and often unclear, he follows the horizon with steady, unwavering fear. He knows a kingdom is not built of stone or throne, but of the quiet strength carry when one stands alone. And in the empty fields where the cold winds roam, he turns his solitude into something like a home. His heartbeat echoes like distant drums in the night, so deliberate, shaped by unseen fight. And every mile he walks becomes a whispered voice that he will rise again, even if he doesn't know how. The world may call the number. He walks where the night forgets his name, a quiet figure shaped by storms he never claimed. Alone and moving through echoes and never fade. carrying the weight of past he never asked to pay. There is a low blue glow behind his eyes, a steady fire that no silence can disguise. And every shadow bends to listen as he goes, for he speaks to the dark in a language no one knows. He learned to rise from places that try to keep him down, to wear his wounds like threads woven into a crown. Not of gold, not of glory, but of truth he won alone, in a world that gave him nothing yet called him its own. His footsteps fall soft, but the earth remembers still the careful rhythm of a man shaped by iron will. And though no voice calls out his name in praise, he carries the courage to outlast forgotten days. He walks between the broken hours of night, guided only by a distant pulse of fading light. And though the world ahead feels colder than the last, he keeps moving, unmoved by the ruins of the past. His heart beats slow like a drum carved from stone, heavy with the secrets of battles never shown. Yet even in silence he refuses to disappear, for strength is born in the shadows he learned to wear. He is the sum of storms that never broke him, the quiet oath of a man who knows he walks unspoken. And though the road winds like a memory out of place, he follows it with steady breath and unshaken grace. In every step a whisper of who he strives to be, a silhouette carved against the dark, walking free. And when the world grows dim, when all seems stripped bare, the night still echoes the shadow steps of the lone. Doesn't search for thrones or crowns to claim, nor ask the hours to carve him a brighter name. For he knows destiny whispers only to the few who keep walking, even when the light pulls through. And so he moves through quiet winds and empty air, a silent promise wrapped in midnight's care. A lone air, yes, but never lost to fear. Each step a mark that he was truly here. Walks toward a sky that never fully reveals its form, a gentleman shaped by quiet endurance through every storm, moving with a calm carved from nights that once held fear, yet carrying a dignity that keeps his path clear. The horizon ahead glows faintly, like a promise halfway, a line between what he must leave and what he dares to make. And though uncertainty hums beneath the cooling air, he steps forward slowly with a grace no weight can tear. He is a man molded by moments that never reach the dawn, by choices whispered softly when all the voices were gone. And the road beneath his feet holds echoes of a life untold, stories that shaped him in ways he never saw to unfold. There is a muted fire beneath his dilapidated gaze, a quiet flame steady through uncounted days. And those shadows trail behind him like memories unspoken. He walks unbroken, steady through what's been broken. Waits for him in shades of silver and blue, a meeting point between a fading past and something new. And though the world around him shifts like restless tide, he carries an inner compass that refuses to divide. His breath aligns with the rhythm of the distant sky, as if the wind itself pauses just to justify the presence of a man who has learned to stand tall, even when the world offered him nothing at all. He knows the horizon is not a destination or end, but a quiet crossing where the weary learn to ascend, where a man meets the version of himself he fought to become, far from the noise, the battles, the numb. And as he walks, the night stretches soft at his side, not as a threat, but as a place he once learned to confide. A companion in silence, a witness to his climb, carrying the echoes of his slow, persistent time. At last, he stands where sky and earth entwine, where the past softens and the future aligns. And though he arrives without applause or sign, he knows his moment is entirely, quietly divine. For here, in the hush between dusk and dawn's rise, the gentleman meets his horizon and finally recognizes his own wise light in the sky. He walks through the world with a silence carved from fire, a quiet figure shaped by trials no heart would desire, carrying veins of steel forged in long forgotten pain, kept alive by a soul of light that darkness can't contain. His steps echo gently through the corridors of night, each one a soft reminder of his unyielding inner fight. And though the world has tried to bend him toward the cold, he rises steady, holding strength no fear can fold. There is iron woven deep in the pulse of his veins, born from the moments when he stood alone in storms and rains. And though the weight of memory presses heavy on his chest, it cannot dim the light he guards in quietness. His soul glows softly, not in flames of blinding gold, but in the warm blue calm of someone who learned to hold pieces of hope through the hardest of nights, refusing to surrender even when out of sight. He knows strength is not in shattering what stands in the way, but in rising again when shadows beg him to stay. And so he walks forward, guided by the blend of steel that protects and light that mends. His presence moves like a slow and steady tide, shaped by patience, grace, and battles he survived. And though his scars run deep like unspoken art, they only sharpen the brilliance resting in his heart. The night leans close, recognizing the man he's become, a warrior not of violence, but of what he has overcome. Carrying resilience shaped in the quiet of unseen fight, where still met sorrow and still chose light. He breathes with purpose as though his lungs remember every cold ember he turned into warm September. And every time the world tried to pull him apart, he forged a new piece of steel around his heart. The steel never hardened him beyond repair. It simply framed the light he chose to wear, a glow that whispers softly through the dark, a beacon lit from his own inner spark. For he is the man who learned to unite veins of steel with a soul of light, walking forward through shadows and night, carrying both strength and gentle might. He moves through the dawn with a quiet resolve in his breath, a man shaped by nights where he walked close to death, carrying the echo of footsteps he refuses to repeat, outrunning the shadows that once clung to his feet. Yesterday follows him like a ghost without form, a lingering presence made of memories worn. Yet he walks with a purpose carved into his spine, a vow to rise beyond what once defined his line. He learned the art of leaving what tried to stay, of letting go of moments that begged him to stray. And though the past whispers in a voice cold and slow, he no longer bends to the weight of its shadow. Is a steady fire hidden behind his eyes, a kind that grows quiet instead of loud as it rises. And every step he takes into the pale newborn light is a declaration that he survived the longest longest night. He does not run to escape nor to erase what he felt, but to prove to himself that his spirit did not melt. That strength is not the roar of a heart unscarred, but the calm persistence of one who's been marred. The road ahead stretches like an unwritten page, inviting a man who walked out of yesterday's cage. And though the world ahead still carries its unknown weight, he meets it unafraid, moving at his own measured gait. The dawn paints him in shades of muted blue and gold, a quiet warrior who no longer fears the old, for he carries the wisdom of someone who has learned that the past cannot claim what the present has earned. He breathes deeply as the morning winds expand, feeling the future settle gently in his hand. And though yesterday reaches out like a fading plea, he walks on anchored firmly in who he chose to be. His heartbeat beat is steady, one shaking out sure, a rhythm that tells the story of how he found the cure for the chains that held him to the weight of before. Chains he now steps over as he moves toward more. He is a man who outran the sorrow he held tight, who turned his own shadows into guiding light. And as daylight forms the path he must obey, the world witnesses a man who outran yesterday. He walks the narrow line where dusk refuses to fade, a lone figure shaped by battles he never fully displayed, moving through a quiet world that rarely sees his name, yet carried by an inner fire that never bows to shame. In the hush between shadows and honor he stands, a man forged not by crowns but by his own hands. And though the night leans heavy against his spine, he keeps walking, holding truth like a lifeline. He learned young that strength is not the loudest roar, but the quiet choice to rise again after every unseen war. And so he walks with a calm carved deep in his chest, a stillness earned in moments when he gave his best. The shadows gather around him like old familiar scars, echoes of memory stored beneath the moving stars. Yet they cannot claim the dignity he refuses to break, nor dim the resolve no darkness can take. Honor follows him like a faint but steady flame, glowing through the silence that once whispered his name. And though the world rarely rewards a man who stands alone, he carries a courage that needs no throne. His heartbeat moves like a slow, deliberate drum, each step a reminder of what he has overcome. And even when doubt presses close in the night, he stays faithful to what he knows is right. Between shadows and honor he chooses the narrow way, the path where true walks quietly beside what one must obey. And though it offers no reward beyond inner peace, he knows its value will never cease. The wind touches him gently as if sensing the weight of the choices he guards, of the burdens he navigates. And in the muted blue of the coming night's breath, he stands unshaken, respectful even of death. Steps leave no boast, no marks seeking praise, only the calm persistence born from difficult days. And though he carries wounds that time cannot erase, he wears them with grace, never out of place. For he knows honor lives not in glory or might, but in doing what's true even when out of sight. And so he walks on steady as the world turns colder, a man standing tall where shadows meet a soldier. Between shadows and honor, he becomes both, growing bolder. He walks beneath a sky that barely remembers light, a fate walker shaped by the long unbroken night, moving through shadows that rise like forgotten prayer, carrying a note spoken only to the midnight air. His steps fall soft on a road no dawn has claimed, a path carved by choices no one else has named. And though silence presses against him from every side, he moves with the certainty of a man who doesn't hide. He learned that destiny isn't written in golden frames, but in quiet vows whispered without fear of blame. In the moments when a man stands alone with his truth, far from the illusions that once painted his youth, the midnight air listens as he breathes in deep, holding secrets the stars themselves could never keep. And in that darkness he makes his solemn oath to walk whatever path arises, carrying courage as his growth. His oath is not a promise to conquer or command, but a vow to rise steady when the world fails to understand, to follow the lines of fate even when they bend, and to walk through storms that don't promise an end. There is resolve in the stillness that surrounds his frame, a quiet fire that refuses to dim or take blame. And though the road offers nothing but shadow and dust, he moves with a calm built from unshakable trust. The moon watches him with a pale observing glow, as if honoring the strength only midnight can know. And the wind carries echoes of steps he took before, reminding him gently of the man he swore to restore. His oath lingers in the air like a faint silver thread, connecting the man he is with the life he once led. And though the night stretches out endless and vast, he walks with the quiet certainty that he will outlast. The fate walker knows destiny shifts with every breath, that it's shaped by the choices made in silence and death. And so he walks onward, unhurried, unbroken, guided by a known, only midnight is spoken. For in the quiet hours where the world feels remote, he becomes the man defined by his midnight oath, a wanderer who He walks through the world with a quiet, steady grace, a lone figure shaped by the silence he chooses to embrace, moving through shadow where unanswered questions lie, yet carried himself with a calm that no storm can deny. His solitude is not an exile nor a heavy chain, but a kingdom he built from the remnants of old pain, a place where his thoughts can breathe and his heart can rest, far from the noise that once shook his chest. He learned long ago that strength grows in the unseen hours, in the moments when the world forgets or loses its powers. And while others sought refuge in voices or a crowded room, he found his peace in spaces where a quiet blooms. The air around him holds a stillness shaped by intent, a soft blue aura of a man who knows where his courage went. And though he stands alone in the unfolding night, his presence shines with its own restrained light. His solitude is a kingdom not marked by gold or throne, but by the steady pulse of a man who stands on his own, guided by memories carved into the depths of his bones, and hopes that whisper softly in low and broken tones. He has walked roads where echoes were the only sound, and learned to trust the strength in his steps on uncharted ground. And though no crown rests on his patient brow, the dignity he carries enough for the world to bow. He knows peace is not the absence of sorrow or fear, but the space he creates to hold what he holds dear. And in the quiet arena where his battles were fought, he shaped a kingdom from every hard lesson taught. The night recognizes him as one of its own, him silence like a gift gently thrown, and he accepts it without asking for more, knowing solitude grants what he once searched for. His heart beats slow like a hymn only he can hear, a steady reminder that he is whole without another near. And though he walks alone through evening's dim embrace, there is power in the calm that surrounds his face. For solitude is not a burden he was forced to claim. It is a kingdom he... He moves where daylight slowly falls into the night. A quiet gentleman shaped by shadows and fading light, walking through the soft blue hour where the world breathes slow, carrying stories only dusk is allowed to know. His steps fall gentle on the edge of darkened skies, each one a whisper true he never vocalizes. And though the sun retreats with a sigh across the land, he welcomes the dusk like an old familiar hand. There is a calm wrapped inside the silence he wears, a depth carved from moments he carried unawares. And the air around him hums with a soft muted grace, as if even the wind learns peace from his pains. He walks not to escape, not to reach something new, but to settle the thoughts that the long day withdrew. And in the blue haze that hovers between night and dawn, he finds the place where sorrow and strength are drawn. His eyes reflect the pale shimmer of evenings, and holding memories of battles too quiet to defend. And though the world never sees the storms he survived, his presence alone shows a calm he's revived. He is the kind of man the dust chooses to keep, a silent guardian of truths buried deep. And while others rush home as the shadows expand, he walks steady with dusk resting soft in his hand. Oh. The horizon fades into tones of silver and blue, blurring the past with the promise of something new. And though the road bends gently into the unknown, he follows it with a strength quietly grown. Dust wraps him in colors that speak without sound, of the quiet victories that never made a crown. And the rhythm of his steps tells a story apart of a gentleman guided by the calm of his heart. Yeah. in the hour where the world feels reborn, where the sky wears the softness of a half-forgotten morn. And though night approaches with its deeper, darker hue, he walks unshaken, elegant and true. For the dusk is his refuge, neither heavy nor bright, a place where he belongs without need in the night. And in this space between ending and start, the gentleman walks, carrying his quiet, unwavering heart.
He moves through the night with a quiet kind of fire, a slow burning strength shaped by loss and desire, carrying an iron heart forged in hours no one saw, beating with whispers of battles fought without flaw. His breath is steady, almost carved from stone, a rhythm born from years he walked alone. And though silence clings to him like an ancient art, it cannot drown the whisper rising from his iron heart. He speaks rarely, for his voice carries weight, the kind shaped by choices that refuse to break. And in the stillness between each careful breath, you can hear the echoes of life he rebuilt from death. He learned to bend without ever learning to fall, to rise even when the world offered nothing at all. And though the shadows press close as if trying to claim a part, they cannot touch the steel inside his iron heart. There is a deep blue glow behind his guarded gaze, a quiet fire that refuses to be raised. And even when the world around him slips into despair, his heart speaks softly, reminding him to repair. The whispers guide him through the cold and the fear, like distant stars that somehow feel near. And even when the night tears everything apart, he walks forward, led by the whispers of his iron heart. He carries no crown, no promise of reward, no golden path laid out or destiny restored. But he knows strength is not in what others see, it is in the battle fought quietly, endlessly. His pulse is the beat of storms, tamed over time, of wounds that he healed without reason or rhyme. And though no one hears the weight of his unseen heart, the world shifts gently at the sound of his iron heart. though he walks through nights heavy and dark, he leaves behind sparks born from his iron heart. A man-shaped night by what tore him apart, but by the strength grown in silence, whisper of an iron heart.
He walks a road that memory left behind, a narrow path shaped by shadows of another time, where the wind carries stories that no voice ever told, and the earth keeps the footprints of the quiet and the bold. His steps fall softly on dust that once knew fire, on ground that remembers every faded desire. And though the world around him lies silent and cold, he moves forward with a resolve. Carved in the old, there is a distant ache in the airy breeze, a haunting stillness that wraps itself around the trees, as if the road itself mourns the lives it used to know, before it became a place where only forgotten echoes go. But he does not fear the quiet that clings to his skin. He understands that every end lets a new breath begin, and in the hush of the road that time had erased, he finds the courage to walk at his own measured pace. Each footprint he leaves is a promise to the night, a gentle mark of a man shaped by loss and light. And though the path twists through shadows long and deep, he follows it with a faith he refuses to let sleep. He knows the forgotten road remembers what was lost, every broken dream carried at a silent cost. Yet he reads the silence the way others read the sky, seeing meaning in the places where old memories lie. Like a half-spoken word, an echo of a future trembling to be heard. And though the wind whispers doubts through the barren air, he walks with a present steady, quiet rare. For he learned long ago that the journey is its own guide, that strength is found not in running but in staying by your side, even when the road feels empty, worn and slow, a place where only the brave allow themselves to go. He does not seek reward at the end of this trail, nor waits for the world to honor what he might unveil. For the meaning he carries is found in each step he makes, a testament to the heart that bends but never breaks. And as dust gathers gently around his moving form, the forgotten road feels a new presence warmer. Wanderer whose footprints will one day be retold, bringing life again to the forgotten road. He stands where twilight falls into the fading day, a quiet figure carved from battles he never wished to replay. The last guardian watching over echoes no one else can hear, carrying an elegant shape by courage, carved from fear. His presence is a whisper in the dust, uncertain breath, a calm that lingers gently at the doorway of old death. And though the past still trembles in the corners of his gaze, he holds his ground with grace that time can't erase. He learned to guard the fragile things the world forgets, dreams left abandoned, unspoken hopes and quiet regret. And even when the weight of silence pressed too deep, he vowed to keep standing while others fell asleep. There is a poised resolve in the way he meets the dark, a softness in the strength that outlines his quiet mark. And though he carries memories that cut like sharpened rain, he bears them with dignity, woven through every pain. His steps are measured, deliberate, slow, guided by wisdom only long nights know. And the wind bends gently as if it understands the depth of burden carried in his steady hands. He is not the warrior forged by burning rage, but the guardian shaped by a deeper, calmer stage, where storms are met not with fire or demand, but with a stillness only true strength can command. His elegance is not in gold or crown, but in the silence that never drags him down. In the way he breathes through shadows thick as stone, refusing to become what tried to make him turn to bone. He watches over a world that barely knows his name, yet he gives without asking for honor or flame. For he understands that true guardianship is born in hearts that choose to rise instead of mourn. The night leans softly toward his quiet form, drawn to the calm behind a life that's weathered storm. And though he stands alone at the edge of unseen fight, he radiates a gentle, unwavering light. For the last guardian needs no throne, no praise, only the will to guide the lost through darker days. And in the stillness where the weary seek to survive, his elegance reminds them what it means to stay alive. A silent strength, unbroken and sincere, the last guardian standing year after year. He walks through the dim glow of a world half awake, breathing in the quiet moments that dusk and memory made. A silhouette drifting where the shadows start to roam, carrying a destiny written in smoke, never carved in stone. His steps move softly through the remnants of old nights, through echoes shaped by whispers and half-forgotten fights. And though the air around him shivers with the unknown, he holds his path steady even when he walks alone. He learned long ago that life never speaks in clear lines, that fate writes its stories between unspoken signs, rising like smoke from the fire of yesterday, curling into shapes that guide, then quietly drift away. His hands bear the marks of choices he never named, decisions laid quietly where his fears were once framed. Yet he walks with a calm built from lessons he never sought, and from truths that formed slowly out of battles he fought. And for my out of battles he fought. The smoke of destiny moves with a restless kind of grace, never staying long enough for him to fully trace. Yet he learned to trust what drifts and shifts in the air, to follow the patterns only those who endure can bear. There is a darkness in him, but it doesn't pull him down. It flickers like ember light beneath a silent crown, glowing in the spaces where hope once seemed to fade. Now rising again in the shadows he has made, he breathes out a quiet promise to the night's embrace, watching it swirl upward, changing shape without a face, and understands that destiny is not something he must chase, but something unfolding slowly at its own deliberate pace. The smoke writes lines he alone can read, messages drifting between want and need, and though the world around him feels uncertain and vast, he follows the trail of what is meant to last. He stands at the edge of fears he once believed were chains, now realizing they were only passing clouds of old pains, dissolving like smoke the moment he chose to stand, to breathe, to rise, to take fate in his own hand. For destiny, he knows, is not a force carved to provoke. It is language written softly in smoke, and as it moves, so does he, carving his path through the wild unseen sea. He walks with a calm that the thunder can't break, a quiet presence moving through the weight of what's at stake. A gentleman carved from nights that never truly slept, holding secrets in the shadows where his memories are kept. There is a storm inside him, but it never shows its form. He learned to breathe through chaos and master every storm. And though the winds roll out in the corners of his mind, he carries himself with a grace the darkness cannot bind. He speaks little, but the silence bends around his voice, for he has lived long enough to understand he has a choice to rise with patience, not with fury in his veins, to stand unshaken even when the world calls out his pains. His steps fall like whispers on a path no one sees, a soft rhythm guided by an unseen breeze. And though the storm inside him once threatened to consume, he turned the lightning into something he could quietly assume. He knows strength is not the fire others forced to burn, but the steady breath held when the harsh winds return. And so he lives between the calm and the roar, a gentleman who learned to carry storms without war. His eyes reflect a sky heavy with unspoken rain, but his heart
gently through the old lingering pain. And even when the tempest rises, sharp and wild, he meets it like a man who once was broken, but now is reconciled. There is elegance in the way he holds his fear, not denying it, but keeping it near, as a reminder that storms don't define who we must be. They simply reveal the quiet strength he lets the world see. He stands beneath the dark like a beacon without flame, a figure forged from nights that tried to whisper his name. Yet he never bowed, never let the noise take form, for he became the master of the silent storm. He moves onward with dignity woven in his breath, turning every shadow into a place he can rest. And though he walks alone through changing air, there is peace in the storm he chooses to bear. A gentleman, steady in the chaos he transforms, carving his path as a silent storm.